Hey, greetings, family. Here's a real good thought on identity. So I'll be speaking about the workings of the gears again. I don't know exactly when, but I got my 3 points on the gears. So the workings of the gears. The gears are identity, authority, and receiving. The nature of Christ activates the position that these gears activate. So I'm just going to leave that there. So I was just thinking about identity. I was reading about David again, and this was really cool because when we think of David and we think of David's commission, you think of Jesus, the lineage, David being in his lineage, you automatically assume or you think that, okay, David was called and chosen by God and all of these real supernatural points, which probably are true, but we'll miss or we'll gloss over the real poignant point of what that's really pointing to. So identity, and I'll be kind of rephrasing this a bit because I've coming up with the three because I had two and I got the last one. It really gave me a deeper revelation of what God is trying to get me to see clearly so I can share it. But you hear me talk about Christ's identity and us merging with him, putting on Christ, whatever. But what we're doing is we're putting on Jesus over our identity, over the identity. What is the identity? The identity is what you were created with before you even got in your mother's womb. What God did, what God wanted to do through or in you before he even put you there, before you even got there. So I was thinking about David and I was saying, you know, he was anointed king early. And I'm thinking of that from just a strictly kind of biblical, supernatural way. You know, that's like we say, well, that's Jesus. And you say, well, that's David. No. David was anointed king because that's what God chose for him to be before he was knitted in it, before he was put in his mother's womb. That's what he was supposed to be. So he's carrying and he's walking with this identity for his whole life. He comes to the point of the anointing where you could say it represents the identity or the nature of Christ, or it represents really the fortification of God around something. God shields you. He protects you. He preserves you. So his identity was preserved with the nature and the ways of God, the best way that could happen then. So I'm saying this to say God already put something in you. It don't have to be religious. You could be a baker. God made you a baker, and you're responsible for allowing the nature of God, of Christ, to cover that baker so that that baker could do that baker's job in the world. I don't know what that means for the baker, but I do know every obstacle the baker will have to go through or would have to stand before, the nature of Christ protects the baker from deciding to be anything other than the baker. We're so easy to let things go. We're so easy to let things fall because something seems like it's too hard. So if it's too hard, then it can't be God. No. You're more than a conqueror as you go through this valley of becoming that thing, or not even becoming it because you are it. As you go through that valley of staying with it and fortifying and strengthening it, the baker, the pastor, the painter, whatever it is, that's what he made before the foundations of the earth. So don't look at all of these things or these characters in the Bible as just something that, you know, is more meaningful than what you are. Because again, whatever he put in you, he put it there at the beginning, and you're responsible to protect it with the nature of Christ so that you'll be fulfilled and that the world will be fulfilled through you. Pastor Jamal, I'll talk to you. Peace.